What's up, guys? Welcome back to Mind Pump TV. I'm your host, Danny Matranga, and today we're in the kitchen. We're going to be talking all things protein. I'm excited because we partnered with one of our favorite brands, Momentous, to talk about protein, what's important to look for in proteins, and why all proteins might not be created equal. First things first, guys, when it comes to protein, I always recommend starting with whole foods. However, I understand that for lifters, right, we're a population that needs more protein than most people. 0.7 to 1 grams per pound of body weight is a general recommendation for a resistance-trained individual. So think about that for a second. That's an awful lot of protein to get in. And it's honestly not always practical or convenient to be sourcing that from whole foods. A lot of us are on the go, sometimes we're on the run, and we don't necessarily have time if we haven't prepped our meals perfectly. And again, things fall apart. So having a protein powder or a supplemental form of protein is always nice in a pinch, but that opens up a whole myriad of questions about which one should I choose. So a big thing is which protein is right for you, right? Should I choose an animal protein powder or a plant-based protein powder? Or even now we're seeing collagen protein powders, right? Everything's popping up. So my recommendation is, and has always been, to utilize a whey protein concentrate or even preferably a whey protein isolate when possible. Now, whey is a dairy protein. So again, if you're somebody who's choosing to be avoiding animal products for ethical reasons, then you might choose a plant-based protein. But for most individuals who are either, don't have a problem with lactose and generally looking for an easy to digest, very well balanced profile, I recommend a whey protein concentrate or isolate. Now, what about collagen protein? Because that's everywhere now. Collagen protein is fine, but it doesn't seem to lend itself quite as well to resistance-trained individuals as whey. And quite frankly, neither does plants. And here's why. We know we have 9 essential amino acids. Those are the amino acids that we can only get from food, right? And dairy is very high in those essential amino acids and very high in leucine, one of those amino acids in particular that's critical for muscle growth. Leucine triggers the mTOR pathway, which is just a fancy way of saying one of the muscle building pathways in the body. And whey is very high in leucine. So when you're choosing a protein, I almost always go for whey because not only does it have a balanced amino acid profile, but it's particularly high in leucine compared to plant and again, collagen proteins. I don't want my whey protein to have 40 ingredients on it. Okay, I want it to have whey protein, maybe a couple of things for flavoring, and minimal additives for things like mixability and creating consistency. The less ingredients, in my opinion, the better. I would like what I'm investing in to be the whey protein, not additives, fillers, and flavor enhancers, okay? So the second thing I look for is this product third-party tested or verified? There's a huge problem in the supplement space right now, and that's the inability to regulate the majority of nutritional supplements. There's been tons of big name brands who I'm not going to dive into and I'm not going to name names, but they've been popped for something called amino spiking, which is the utilization of cheap filler amino acids to drive up the nitrogen content in their protein powder. And now when you measure something's protein content, you measure the nitrogen content. So what a lot of these companies do is they use a really low quality protein and inject it full of crap amino acids, and you end up paying big bucks for the stuff you don't really need, and you might be running short on things like leucine. So that brings me to my third point. I love it when a protein powder company takes the time to actually break down the amount of each of the different amino acids that are in it. Not just the essential, but the conditionally essential and the non-essential. I want to know how much of each of those is present in every scoop that I take, because I want to know where my money's going, and I would much rather pay for quality and the right amino acids than pay for fillers, flavors, and a bunch of crap. So for me, a big thing I also look for with all of the supplements I take, whether it be protein powders, multivitamins, whatever, fish oils, I want to know where the product is actually coming from. So supplement companies can really win my business as a consumer if they tell me where they're sourcing the various ingredients that go into the product. So for example, with whey protein, I could have company A that tells me that it's whey protein concentrate in the powder, or I could have company B that tells me it's grass-fed whey protein isolate from New Zealand. And I'm gonna generally opt for the company that's gonna disclose the most information to me, the consumer, because I'm pretty passionate about what I put in my body. And I understand that that doesn't necessarily matter as much to everyone, but because my emphasis is on whole foods and I wanna focus on that, I want my protein powder or any supplement that I take to disclose to me where stuff is from, just like me in the grocery store would. If you're watching this video, I know you're somebody who's invested in your health, fitness, and performance, okay? You're giving your all in the gym, you're giving your all on the bike, you're all in the pool, whatever activity you do, you put your best foot forward. And that's something that needs to happen with your nutrition too. I'm the type of person that will prioritize quality with everything that I buy from the grocery store. If I get meat, I like it to be grass-fed. If I have fish, I like it to be wild caught. If I have vegetables, I'd prefer that they're organic and in season. And I have that same level of focus when I'm picking a protein powder, right? I want a company that's going to do third-party verification. I want to know how much of each amino acid is in there. I want to know where the protein is coming from. Where is that animal at, if it's an animal protein, right? And I don't think that's asking too much. And these are just tips that I picked up along the way that I think will make a huge difference in not just promoting performance, but also health, longevity, and overall wellness. If you guys liked this video and want to see more nutrition-related content, make sure you leave us a comment down below, like, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks so much for tuning in.